This is Francesca La Scala live at the wrap party for the Palm Beach International Film Festival. We're here with Gary Dresden, the writer, director and producer for the film December. Gary, it is a pleasure to interview with you tonight. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience in making December. Tell us a little bit about how was it making this film?
Well, I can basically tell you this. I am a physician by trade, an obstetrician and gynecologist. In fact, you're Italian. I trained in Italy at the Università di Bologna, and I learned obstetrics and gynecology there. The difference in filmmaking and obstetrics and gynecology is that you're not allowed to say the word whoops. When you make a film, you can do it all day long. It's night and day. One is serious, one is frightening, one requires perfection. The other is almost a hobby and it's fun. There's no question about that.
Gary, a little bird told me that your son is involved with filmmaking in Hollywood. Now, was he the direct inspiration for you to actually start filmmaking?
Actually, this is an interesting response. My son in the mid-90s did a number of big shows as an assistant director in Hollywood. Life Stinks, Hot Shots 2, Rapid Fire, Bodyguard, so on down the line. He left in order to try and write and got writer's block. In order to show him that if you can write something and finish it, you're better than 90% of the writers, even though it's terrible, I wrote him a screenplay. He reviewed it and in a supercilious tone looked at me and said, "Dad, for a first draft it's wonderful, but you know it needs a lot of work." I said, "I understand, and I'm busy running 23 companies and practicing medicine. I don't have time to revise it, nor do I know what to do about it." In the interim, 15 years later, we have another son who's a lieutenant colonel in the Marines. He was going to Iraq for the 4th time. My wife had to go to San Diego to watch his child because they wouldn't permit his wife to have time off from her facial plastics practice in the Navy to watch the baby. I went to film school and I learned how to write a screenplay. I took this screenplay, I revised it, I finished it, and I decided I was going to make a movie with it. And if it was a subliminal childhood desire, it was so suppressed when I was young, I didn't even think about it. Now that I had the opportunity and the funds, I decided I was going to go ahead and do it.
So then your advice to young and upcoming filmmakers would be finish it.
Definitely. What you start, you have to finish. And also, go for broke. If this is what you want to do, do it. As long as you can take care of yourself, do what you want to do in life. When I grew up as a young man, if I had come to my father and said, "I'd like to go make movies," he would have said, "Movies, schmovies, what are you, crazy? You're going to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or accountant." When my son came to me and asked me the same question, I had to block my response and say, "Follow your dream." I wish I had had that opportunity because being creative is a wonderful experience.
Indeed it is. You mentioned so long as an artist you can take care of yourself, follow your dreams, but taking care of yourself, do you mean economically? Because it has been a bit of a cool-off time with the economy.
Yes, unfortunately, you have to sustain yourself. But when the star of this film, who's Robert Redford's cousin, went out to Hollywood, his mother called Robert Redford and said, "What should I do with Jeff?" Robert Redford said, "You send him out here with a one-way ticket and you don't give him any money to come home, because there'll be hard times and there'll be good times. And in the hard times, he'll have to find a way to sustain himself. And if he does, whether he's a bartender or a waiter or he cleans streets, it won't matter. He'll have the drive and the fortitude to move forward and never quit and never give up." And that's what Jeff did.